Okay, it's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Theakstons and it's their Old Peculier, described as the legend. It's 5.6% ABV. It's got a gold bottle cap. I want to get this beer out into a glass and see what we get, but I want to remind you guys that this was my second ever beer review, was Theakstons Old Peculier. I'm revisiting it because I want to record it in full 1080p HD video for you guys. The last time we reviewed the beer, it was done on a shoddy old laptop with a webcam, and the speech was not quite aligned with the picture, but my enthusiasm was there for the beer, as it still is today. So full HD, 1080p, Theakstons Old Peculier from Real Ale Craft Beer. What do we get in the glass? That is a fantastic, deep, dark coloured beer with a one finger, slightly off white head. The beer in the glass, the carbonation is just zinging up nicely. There you go, look at that. At 5.6% ABV, it's pushing it for a session beer, but I certainly think I could session it now. Probably back then, I may not have been able to session a 5.6% beer. Okay, let's get the all important aroma on the beer then. And it smells very different from when I first reviewed it. Or should I say, my palate has changed quite a bit since I last reviewed this. But there's still an element to this beer that rings it so kind of in its own strange bracket of a beer. It's very sweet. Let me get it up. It's very sweet, but it's very dark. I want to show you that. I want to get it up to the camera. It smells a bit fudgy, or a bit... It smells like a pumped up man's brown ale, but it's really sweet. There's not a lot of... There is a bit of malty, kind of a maltiness coming through, a biscuity malt, but... And it's slightly hoppy. So, let's dive in. Nearly 4 years later. Theakstons Old Peculier, my second ever beer review on this channel. Check it out. I want you to tell me if my reviewing style has changed, if things have improved. Let me know in the comments box, but check out my original Theakstons Old Peculier video. Cheers. It has got a roasted character to it. It is malty, but it's also very, it is like a kind of pumped up man's brown ale. It is very, they seem to have got this brown sugar element to the beer, where they could have added a brown sugar to this beer. I think they probably have. It's a little treacly. I'm saying that because I reviewed a treacle stout from a brewery a couple of years ago, and it's very much like that. It's treacle, it's brown sugar, but it's mixed. It's definitely mixed in with a lot of kind of roasted malt as well. Not a lot of roasted malt, I should add. There is an element of roasted malt about the beer. It's got that very traditional feel to the beer. This is a beer that on a winter's night you could sit down with, and you really could kind of contemplate the world over, sitting in your armchair in the pub thinking about the world and letting the time pass by in your chair with a pint of Old Peculier. It's one of them beers, it's a beer not to be rushed. It is still, for me, a good beer. I think back then I probably would have given it a 10 out of 10. My second ever beer review. I was a complete novice when it comes to beer back then. I literally had just dumped the lager and was getting into all of these different ales when I decided to start reviewing it on YouTube. Please check out my original Theakstons Old Peculier video out, and kind of, it's a bit hard to watch, it's a bit hard bearing, but see how much of it you can watch and tell me how the reviewing style has changed, and of course, pardon me, the video quality as well. I like to record in 1080p now these days. But here's the beer, and this is why. Look what I can do now. Look at the tools at my disposal. I can really get in and show you the beer as if it was there in front of you. Look at that. Fantastic looking beer. Okay, Theakstons Old Peculier. There's a little bit left in the bottle. Let's give you my final thoughts then, and a rating. I will always have a fondness for this beer. I will always have a place inside, in there for this beer, because I have come a long way. I have come a long way. I was a lager drinker back then. I really got into the traditional real ales for a couple of years, and then we kind of moved on to me more. I was reviewing a lot more craft beer, and I'm still reviewing a lot more craft beer because I like it. I appreciate good beer. I still appreciate real ale. I still love real ale. I will, like I say, I'll always have a place in my heart for beers like this. They're always good kind of backup. If you can't get what you want in a supermarket or in a bottle shop, there's always a good old backup of a Theakstons Old Peculier. It's that type of beer. So for all of them reasons, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 like I probably would have nearly 4 years ago. I'm going to give this closer to a 7 out of 10 now. Still a very decent brew, but not after reviewing 1,200 or so beers. It's probably a 7 out of 10. Theakstons Old Peculier, go, if you've not tried it, check it out. And hopefully it will have a place inside for you as well. It's a good beer. Thanks for watching Real Ale Craft Beer. Kind of go back over the years and talk about the past and the good old days. Put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.